Hello everybody and welcome to the latest episode of OIS in Source, the football manager simulator brought to you by Just Football and the Nordic Football Podcast. Look where we are, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. And if you see the screen in front of you right now, yes, it's the alternate universe that we live in. And in the alternate universe that we live in, the European Championships are actually taking place for real. It's June 2020 and they are going ahead. So I thought this would be a good place to start on this latest show. We are, of course, Orgryte, but as you know, we'll look into that in a minute and we will talk to you about the latest goings on since we lost the big derby. However, I thought first, let's have a little quick look at the Euros and see what's going on, because the latest round of games is ended. We're halfway point of the season and it's the international break for the Euros. So these were the games, these are the matches. No Swedish involvement in this year's competition, according to FM, did not qualify. But we do have some representation from Norway. And there's been one game played so far. Breel Bolo is the top scorer at the moment, playing at Schalke. Eric Dyer scored for England, who won their game. Let's look at the fixtures quickly before we get into club affairs with Orgryte. But yes, these were the latest round of games. Italy beat Scotland 1-0. Belotti, Kingsley Coman, Thomas Lemar and Griezmann saw off Norway, who lost 3-2 to France. Belgium looking strong. And England beat Russia. So there you go, there are some of the scorelines. And yeah, we won't be having the Euros in real life, but at least on FM, they did not see a global pandemic coming and it's gone ahead. So we'll keep in touch with that and see how we go. We'll bring you maybe the progress as we go along. But in the real world of OIS in Source, it's all about Orgryte. And we are at the halfway point of the season now. At the end of the derby, I mentioned that we are going to talk about the latest results. And I mentioned that we would play 3 or 4 games till the halfway point of the season. So we left you at the IFK Göteborg game, which we lost 2-1. And as you can see on the screen now, we played 4 games since. And we've done okay. Things picked up a little bit. We were under a lot of pressure after that winless streak. 6 games, 7 games even without winning. And we've done alright since. Obviously we drew with Kalmar 1-1. We beat Gefle 1-0. Header from a corner from Timmy Stolt, whose full name is actually Timbo Stolt Hermansen. So I might start calling him Timbo or Timmy Bo. He's been incredible for us of late, one of our best players. For sure, man of the match in that game. That ended the losing streak. We really needed a win against Gefle, and we got it. They're bottom of the league, so it really is us or them at the moment in terms of relegation. It could be anyway. And then we had a heartbreaker in this game. Bäckåhaken, another derby, 93rd minute. Have a look at that. And we played all right. Well, they had 14 shots, but it was a game where we didn't play too badly, in fairness, and I think we were deserving of a point. We made a couple of changes to the team, but we've mainly stuck with a lot of the players that took us into the derby. Only one you need to probably be aware of at this moment in time, Jerome Tibbling Ugwo, we've given a chance. You'll remember if you saw the last episode, the derby episode, we are having problems in attack, and so we've had to revert to another player who we bought from Asariska. Episode 2, Meet the Squad, you can have a look at the entire squad, and Tibbling Ugwo is a player who has done all right, but he's only young, he's 21, and he is kind of struggling to adapt in the 1.5 games he's played. So we gave him a game in this match against Bäckåhaken, but as you can see here, check out this last minute heartbreaker in the Bravida Arena against our Stockholm rivals. It just seems like derbies we're not ready for derbies at the moment, are we? It's not happening for us. And yeah, this is 92nd minute. Absolutely gutting. We'd done all we could to get a point. We'd marked Avdic, man-marked him all game. And then he pops up with a goal like that. Daleho Erindust with the assist. Yeah, and that was gutting, to be honest. After a pretty, reasonable performance, we had some injuries as well. We'd hung on. Fernandez, Success in Wusu had gone off injured. So that was a real frustration for us, and we had to bounce back. And we did. We got a point at Djurgården, which I was very happy about. But again, the real problem that we're having at the moment is late goals. This has become the theme now of this save at the moment. We are conceding late on in games, and it's becoming a real problem for us. We went 2-0 up in this game. Lina, another header from a corner. We've improved our set pieces of late, and he got his first ever goal for the club, Lina, the centre-back, from a Felix Ejay assist. And then, before you knew it, Leonard Planner, we've tried him up front now, lays it to Gyökeres, and look at Gyökeres. Continues that exceptional finishing and put us 2-0 up in Stockholm, which we could not believe it. 2-0 up at Djurgården. But unfortunately, with this OIS team, we do lack a little bit of bottle. Minutes later, Saman Ghoddos is at Djurgården, and he put it on a plate for Umrabati. And then second half, 60th minute, we were trying to hold on, but Nasiru Mohammed was a key man for them. We tried man marking him. Couldn't quite do it, really. This was a counter-attack. Yeah, we got counter-attacked. 58th minute. And Nasiru Mohammed, they gave him too much space, and he just skimmed through our team. And Hossam Aish, we're having some problems on that left-hand side of ours, their right-hand side. It's an area that we're going to have to look at, maybe even in the transfer market, because that's where we are now, transfer window time. So this is going to be a brief episode. We're not going to play any games on this episode. The next game we will bring you is the Malmö game. But in this episode, we're just going to look at the table and have a little look at where we are and what needs to be done in the second half of the season. So we're 13th. Everyone's played 15 now. And yeah, we're 1 point above relegation, which, I'll take it right now. If you offered it to me, I'd be happy with that, and I'd snap your hand off. We scored 19, conceded 27, so no longer we're now the joint worst with EF Core defensive record and minus 8 goal difference. These really are our three competitors for the rest of the season, in my opinion. Degerfors, Osters and Gefle. I'll be looking at their results every single week. We're going to be looking at them and hoping they lose. They're the games we really, really have to win. We beat Gefle, and I think these are the three teams that we are probably better than. Maybe Kalmar, but really apart from that, I think we're going to have to make do with just trying to do better than these three. So, as I say, I would happily take 13th at the end of the season. Remember, in Sweden, 14th goes into a relegation playoff against the team in third, which at the moment would be AIK. So that, imagine if we ended up in a playoff against AIK to stay up, that would be some two-legged fixture. But things can change. They've obviously got a game in hand to go top. And we'll see what happens. I don't know what they're doing in the second division. But yeah, we're at the halfway point. So let's just look at a few bits and pieces. Best players of ours. Timmy Bo Stolt. Bo Tim, if you want to call him it. He loves Göteborgsen, and Göteborgsen loves him. We really, really have started to get the best out of this player. The 19-year-old turns 20 soon. 4 days, in fact. So happy birthday, Timbo. Happy 20th. Suddenly, now that the transfer market is about to open, we've got a few deals to talk about, which is what we'll talk about in the next part of this episode. Norrköping sniffing around Timbo at the moment, and Norrköping are really doing well this season. They're top of the league. They are a big club as well. If you look at the amount of money they've spent, 4.5 million. So if they do come in for Timbo, it could be hard to avoid when his value is 45k. We've set an asking price of 500 grand. But yeah, 10 games, 4 goals, 1 assist. He's been really, really good for a 19-year-old. Absolutely loving him. May even enter new contract talks with him, and he is our top goal scorer. Highest average rating so far. Success in Wusu. Mr. Success. Success by name, success by nature. Signed from Hammarby, as we talked about in the summer window in early episodes. 130k, and he has been worth every single penny. 12 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, 2 player of the match. Apart from his one sending off in a key match against, who was it? Malmo, yeah. Apart from that game, really, he's been fantastic for us, really. Does have a bit of a hot head. I mean, 5 yellow cards in 12 games. He's constantly getting himself booked, but we do need that tenacity, and he brings it. So I'm really happy with Success. Great signing, and he's been our best player in that sense. Oppa and Guet, most assists. Our highest paid player, 4k a week nearly. And he's been out with an injury lately, so we have missed him. He's missed 4 games, 5 games through injury. Only recently just come back off the bench. But he is a big player for us. Yeah, most assists, 2 goals, and just in general, he offers a different level really in terms of dribbling. A very good player, and I think they'll be interested in him soon. But there's nothing at the moment, so happy with that. Pass completion, Lucas Fernandez. Where do you stand on the Fernandez debate? Is it in or out? We've been moving him around recently, and after the derby, we stopped playing him as a striker. We've moved him to wing. It's been okay on the wing, but still no assists, so no goals. I think Gyökeres just offers more than him, to be honest. And at 26, even though we signed him in the summer, it was a bit of a punt. And I've started to think to myself, would it be worth maybe even cashing in on him? I mean, he's a decent player, don't get me wrong. But what's he really going to offer, maybe? Just 2 goals so far. So I've thought about, what's the situation with him and what are we going to do with him. There's been some comments as well about him in the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe or like the video below. Would really like to get up to 10 likes maybe, or if we can crack as many views as possible. But yeah, or subscriptions even, that would be great. But yeah, let us know what you think about Lucas Fernandez, because he's our number 9, but we are having a bit of issues fitting him in. Someone pointed out the jumping reach is an issue when it comes to his heading, and that is a good point. But yeah, he's not quite doing it, but then again, he's got our best pass completion, so he is pulling his weight in some ways. And then it's back to Success, most player of the match awards, and then look at the red cards. That's what you get with a high tackling style, but anyway, I don't mind that. I'm up for a bit of a hard tackle. But yeah, transfer window time. So let's dissect this before we head into the second half of the season and just give you an overview of potential ins and outs coming up, because, as I said on the last episode, we are having trouble financially. Financial status is now insecure. So this is a potentially big problem for the club. As you can see, they're insecure officially. Now the big problem is we're just losing money every month, and I've been looking at the finances myself. Jota Borgson decided to dig into them because someone at the club isn't doing their calculations, I don't think, in some way, because we are really bleeding money big time. All right, we're 38k up for the season, but our balance is down to minus 666 grand, which is getting worrying. And every month we seem to be losing money. So I've seen on the horizon that, what happens when you're out of money on FM. The board will come in and they'll start selling your players, and that is what we don't want. I don't mind them selling a handful of players, but we do not want to lose certain key youngsters, in my opinion. This game is based around youth. We've lost youth players in the past, and it was very disappointing. We don't want that to happen again. So I've had to look around at the experienced members of the squad who maybe could earn a bit of coin, which leads me to transfer number 1, Mr. Jaguda. Take a last look at him because he's played his last game for OIS, and he got sent off, unfortunately, against Orgryte, the 90th minute. 6.6. We talked about him in the game against Göteborg. He got 6.3, and I took him off at half time. And we said, he needs to start pulling his weight a little bit more. He really did in the next game. Got an assist and was magnificent against Kalmar. As an advanced playmaker, we moved him back to advanced playmaker, and he looked quite good. But he's been unsettled. We talked about it in the last episode. There were clubs in for him, Slavia Prague. He's refused to sign a new contract. He's out of contract in the summer. And we just thought, it's time to cash in on him. So, a massive player for us. It's a goodbye to Mr. Yaguda. He's been really good. Free transfer. He started the save when I started the save, so I didn't buy him myself, but he was there when we joined, and really he's been fantastic. Look at that average rating across 4 or 5 seasons. He's played a good number of games for us, 100 games nearly, just over 100 games. But it's all over for him. He will be leaving to Lech Poznan for 140k. So in about 2 weeks' time, when the summer break ends, he's off to Poland. So goodbye, Mr. Yaguda, and thanks for your service. Disappointing to lose him because he is a big player, and I've noticed that we've got 7 points out of 14 games. The 14 points we've got this season. Or what is it? Yeah, 14 points. We've got 7 of them when he plays. So it is a bit of a gamble. The other decision I've made is that we're not going to replace him. So that 140k will hopefully go towards lifting the budget. He's on 2k a week as well, so that can hopefully ease the wage bill. But we've got Mr. Reeks back, and I think this could be the turning point of the season. Soren Reeks. I think his performances could define this save. And whether we stay up or go down. Signed him from EF and he got a hip injury straight away, out for 3 months. But he is back, and he will be available for hopefully the next game. If he can, get fitness, I think we'll probably play him as a centre midfielder, perhaps sometimes on the wing as well. But I think we got Alexander Svensson, who we talked about, our 18-year-old, who continues to improve. We've got Jens Kahus, who started to play for us. He's played 1 start, and he's another youngster, 20 years old, centre midfielder who's developing. We've got Antoine Makumba, who, of course, he got sent off, so in his only start for us, he got sent off, which I'm not happy about, but still got potential to be a quality player. Still got decent stats, 21. Room for development, I'd say, wouldn't you? And then we've got Sebastian Karlsson, the former Inter Milan man, who's come back from a long-term injury as well. He's been out for the whole season, pretty much. But he's back now, and I think he will also compete for the midfield place. So basically, we're not going to replace Mr. Yaguda. We're going to see how it goes. Elsewhere, the next issue we're going to have, I think, is left back. As I said, we conceded a lot of goals down that right-hand side. And if you look at Mr. Ruben Gatta, said it before in previous episodes, he's the Patrice Evra of the future. I think other clubs have started to realise that, because Djurgården are in for him, Guingamp are in for him, and Caen are in for him in France, both League One teams. And again, he's another player with his contract expiring. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to get him to sign a new deal. His agent isn't having it. And he's not played that much for us this season. He's been in and out of the team. He's only 20 and he's learning. I think defensively he's not great. But going forward, he's a real threat. His pace is incredible. But yeah, he's a player that I feel like if we tie him down, we could sell him on for quite a bit of money in the future. So the problem is he's a bit unhappy with things, unhappy with training. And I just think we're going to struggle, really. Look at the speed there. We're going to struggle to tie him down. Look at the technicals are not great, but the physicals are extraordinary. And he could, if he develops under 20 France international, we could make a few million. So I am a bit worried about him. Going to try and tie him down, lads, but a bit worried that he might leave. Batista Mendy we talked about. Leeds United watching him. And Shane Long came to watch him, Leeds manager. Beckel Hacken now, Djurgården and Odd. Teams in Sweden and Norway starting to look at him. We've slapped a 1.5 million asking price on him, the centre-back. Been magnificent for us this season. Again, he's 20. They've got a lot of youth in this squad. But he's another one. He's not happy at the moment. He's unhappy about various things. So can we keep him? Who knows? And yeah, then that's about it, I think. So we're going to have to dip into the transfer market. Now, this is a player that I want to just quickly show you. Give us your thoughts on this guy, lads. So we made an offer and then withdrew it for Sebastian Barrios. Now, this kid, we've scouted him for a while. He's a 17-year-old in Argentina. And he's a regen, but look at those stats. 17 finishing, 13 first touch, 14 heading. I think we made a bit of a mistake here because we watched him for ages and look, I even think he's almost as good as Patrick already. And better than Fernandez, our scouts. But we made an offer for him. And then basically pulled out on the last day. He'd agreed terms, but it was 2k a week. And we just felt it was a little bit too much. We thought maybe we could get him a bit cheaper. He was out of contract. And then lo and behold, 2 weeks later, signs a new deal. So now he's got a contract to 2022 and we're going to have to pay money for him. So 425k his value is, which we can't afford. But I really do like this kid. So let me know what you think about a new striker, because, you know, who would you recommend as well? If you know any good FM players, you know, youngsters, wonder kids, maybe we can have a little look at them. But yeah, Leonard Planner played well against Djurgården. He's going to stay in the team, I think, for maybe the next couple of games. Still got potential. The interesting thing I like about Big Leonard is relishes big matches. He played really well against Djurgården, and also the fans like him. So it's always good to have a fan favourite in your team. He's only played 4 games for us, but already a fan favourite. He's very good in the air as well, and he just looks like maybe he's a bit more of a tenacious finisher than Joseph Lingberg, the 17-year-old, at this moment in time, who I've had to criticise a little bit because in training he's not been good, and he also turned down a new contract, which I found quite astonishing. And he doesn't want to restart talks. So yeah, maybe he's getting a bit cocky, the 17-year-old. But yeah, he's a very, very good talent. And Patrick is back soon. He's got injured again, but hopefully just a niggle. But yeah, 1 goal this season and it's not enough. He's going to have to up it seriously if he's going to keep his place in the team. So, Rian Brewster is coming back into it as well. Just starting to get a little bit of game time. Another one who's out of contract. You know, and his agent is not really playing games. He's playing games at the moment, so can we tie him down? Our scouts our coaches really like him. And then on that final note, before we leave you for this episode, it's been a nice little overview. Let's just say a big warm welcome to our newest member of the team. So yes, we have a new coach. We've signed him, Mr. Munir Liachuti. Just signed a new contract with us in May. He is going to join us, and what do you think of those stats? I mean, he's decent. Decent little coach there, 32 years old. Very happy with him. Good at working with youngsters, mentally and attacking-wise. Disciplined guy. You know, takes his work seriously. Didn't have much of a playing career, you know, played in France's lower leagues, really. But, yeah, really exciting coach, I think. And the interesting thing with that is we're now the best team in Allsvenskan for coaching when it comes to coaching comparisons. So we've got the best coaches, attacking coaches in Allsvenskan. We've got the best technical coaches in Allsvenskan. And across the board, we're pretty good for coaching. I mean, defensively, nearly the best. And we've got the best scouts in Allsvenskan. So, better than Norrköping's, better than Östersund's. Medically, we're not great. Physios are pretty poor. But behind the scenes, we're building things nicely. So, welcome, Mr. Munir. And let's hope there's a bit of success, maybe. Maybe he can start getting a tune out of Lucas Fernandez. Anyway, that's it for this episode. We're going to see if we can keep our players. We've got games coming up. We've got 2 weeks till our next match. And in that time, the transfer window will open. So we're going to sort of see what deals happen. There's a lot of people looking at our players now, sniffing around. It's going to be a big challenge with our finances to keep some of our better players. That is going to be something that could define the season. So thanks for listening and watching. I really appreciate it. And leave a comment or let us know what you think. We'll be back for another episode soon. Thanks very much, guys. And goodbye.